Howdy folks, Justin here, and today we're hopping onto the ladder with Redoran Conscription. This is a deck that I actually really enjoyed when it first made its, competitive appearances for the first time, and I played quite a bit for a while. As sentiment towards Conscription sort of soured, I played a lot less of it and looked for other things to do that I thought people would find entertaining. But with the recent nerf to Conscription, I thought it might be time to just take another look at the deck and see how it does. Unlike Talvani Conscription, this is a much more linear strategy. You're looking to beat down your opponent in the early game, and let's see how we do against a mono-red deck. I'm ready to roll. Mono-red deck has the ring. I'm going to keep a Stormcloak Vanguard. Treeminder is pretty good because obviously you want to get to your Conscription. But this hand looks much more control-y than a hand from this deck might ordinarily look, because we are running, a ton of 2-drops. Being that we are a Conscription deck. So let's see how this goes. Frenzy to Lit. Well, let's play Bruin Profiteer. Frenzy to Lit, monthly reward card from last month. Adorable little fella. Could equip an item here. Could be a problem for us. Sure. Elects to trade. That's fine. We can play Indorol Mastermind now. Offer up another trade. We will keep the Divine Fervor. We also have Journey to Sovngarde in the deck. Like, it is a deck that can go super late. You trade some of the beatdown ability for the late game potential. Okay. Triggers, we play Hive Defender. We're just preserving our life total at the moment. Cool, trade. We have a Divine Fervor or a Cast into Time. Opponent is going to drop Blood Dragon. That's a pretty good Cast into Time target, I think. Or is it a better Javelin target? Well, let's Cast into Time. Oh, there we go. Blood Dragons removed. All 3 hit. Reeve. What are we going to do about Reeve? For right now, let's play double Treeminder. Gives us a lot more options in the future. We are turning on his Triumphant Jarls, if that's a thing. It probably is a thing in their deck. But we're also jacking up our Magicka something fierce. And if we play Divine Fervor and Stormcloak Vanguard, we can kill this. Sure. So let's get rid of this. Pass the turn. And sitting at 9 Magicka feels pretty good. This is going to transform, draw our opponent a card, but we're also going to draw a card. Indorol Mastermind. No play. Kind of a big deal. So, I want to Javelin. I want to Mastermind, Javelin, Green Pact, Ambusher. I will take a Cast into Time. Drop this here. Cool. Alright, so now we're just kind of digging for our Conscriptions or our Praetorian Commanders, which are also like super good. Rapid Shot. I'm curious what my opponent's been sitting on this whole time. Okay. Yeah. Opponent probably spending the rest of the game in the Shadow Lane. Crusader's Assault. Let's Camel for Conscription. which we can play next turn, and then let's drop something else down to trade with this.
They've no move we can't anticipate.
Let's take the green packed ambusher.
So predictable.
And let's drop this. So, we have one Bruma left in our deck. Otherwise, we're looking pretty solid on numbers for things we'll hit. One green packed ambusher left in our deck as well. I played this in addition to the creatures that I would need to trade in because it seems likely with our opponent sitting on 6 cards, they can remove this and do something about this. $53 cards left in our deck. We've gone through 15 from our opponent. 15 cards gone through for our opponent. We have gone through 22. Alright. So we're going to take 7. We'll trade our guys in. And then Conscription. Okay. I will javelin that since I got other plans for next turn for myself. To get maximum conscription value, I think I am going to trade my camel in, even though I don't need to. Increase the chances we hit that Bruma. And it is the one creature we do not hit, unfortunately. But we're taking the life lead. We have a full board. And unless there's a Trial of Flame in my opponent's mono red deck, I feel pretty good about this. And this is just, you know, it's a much more, like I said, it's a much more linear version of like the Telvanni Conscription plan. You don't have tons of great control options. You just play for the board with your small creatures, cycle through your deck, and land your conscriptions. Now, Praetorian Commander's looping is a fun thing you can do with this deck as well. We didn't see it this time, but that's okay. Cradle Crush. Oh, okay. So our opponent is not just mono red aggro. They're doing something a little spicier than that. Riften Pillager, cool. Okay. There we go. Alright. We'll be right back for another one, guys. Alright, we are back for a second game with Redoran Conscription. Felt pretty good that game. We just played against mono red aggro, mono red stuff. You know, Blood Dragons and Cradle Crush Giants suggested something pretty interesting, but we were able to pull through there. And now we're playing against Shinigami 159. The Godslayer, which is not great for us. We have the Ring, we have some 2-drops. I really don't like Stormcloak Vanguard when it's not coming off Conscription. But against Monk, I'm kind of into keeping Hive Defender. So, again, same general strategy. We're just going to try to play for the board, control that, and power into a Conscription. Playing that is only a mistake if we draw Galen. As it stands, I'd rather my opponent have to deal with it, do whatever they got to do over here. Second Hive Defenderoo. And we'll just start chipping away. Next turn we'll get the Hive Defender down, and then we'll get the Hive Defender down, and then we'll see about edicting stuff. Okay. So... let's drop this. What kind of beasts are we, what kind of animals are we worried that our opponent might have hit off the Elder Gleam Matron? Shackle Lethal would be a bit of a disappointment. Either way, we're looking pretty good right now. Ungulum, okay. Pit Lion. That's just actually in their deck, okay. Well. Just gonna go ahead and do that, and then that. Pass the turn. Next turn, Treeminder, Stormcloak Vanguard doesn't do much. And we also are running lower on resources than our opponent, which is unfortunate. So we're not in a great spot here. We have played for the board pretty well against what is definitely a more aggressive deck. Okay. Well, this does mean we get to leverage our Stormcloak Vanguard into removal. And then follow it up with... I'm going to start swinging too. Follow it up with a Stormcloak Battalion. I think this is win-win, right? We either take 4 or draw a card. They trade with this somehow involving swinging their guy in. Ideally, actually, they go face. They do have 2 random beasts we haven't seen yet, so they could be things like Swamp Leviathans, if they haven't dropped them yet. Barbus would be irritating because of the value it could generate. What do we know about this deck so far? Not a lot. There's our Journey to Sovngarde, which is about the worst draw on our deck. Eastmarch Crusader. And another Pit Lion. We're just going to double Treeminder. So again, we have not seen any Praetorian Commanders, which is a bit of a bummer. Our journey right now does hot nothing. Okay. Anasi. Anasi's good, but if they're just pushing 9, they're actually sort of solving our problem of not having any cards in our hand. Oh, it gets charged too. Well, that's a bit worse for us. All right, so we go down to 10. Anasi's a good card. Do some trading and Emperor's Blading. And a 5/6. It matches up well against Pit Line, which is pretty nice. Next turn, if I can get Bruma into Hive Defender. Hive Defender, I'm feeling pretty good. Monk Strike puts us to 1. No, to 2. Into Eastmarch. Okay, face Prophecy is great here. Let's just clean this up. Let's make sure we're not missing lethal. 11, 16, 13, 18, 19, 20. So no lethal. Okay, back up to 4 with a lot of guards on the board, including post-combat guard over here. Bruma. Moon Moth. That's pretty spicy.
You can tell them you know.
Gavel.
We know.
Okay. It's pretty good. That's really good.
I know a shortcut. Blood and honor. I'll clear a path.
Okay.
Roots of the hiss.
I'm pretty comfortable just stopping here as far as pushing damage goes. Does Tazcad kill us? No. Okay, let's see what happens here. Bruma Profiteer's been doing a lot of work. Digging for answers. Okay.
Training is over. It's
Death
time.
Legion into Cliff Racer, maybe? Portcullis is the card they got off of their thing. Okay. Off of the Moon Moth. Alright, well, let's javelin that. And take it home. Let's give this little good tree miner boy lethal. Alright, so no, we didn't hit a single conscription that time. We were just a mid-range beatdown deck, and we were able to play for the board, which is something I love doing, and one of the things you can do really well with this deck. And took it home. That was pretty fun. I think the deck's still pretty viable. I think you could hit Legend with it pretty easily. And it is a lot of fun to play. And if you're looking for a way to have the conscription experience of playing for the board without playing Telvanni conscription, this is a pretty good way to start. So, enjoy!